Well, I almost fell prey to one of the biggest tricks I have played on myself, and I've done it in the past, and I just wanted to share it with you so that if you find yourself making this mistake, you know you're not alone. And I just kind of want to show you like the pitfalls and how I realized I was falling into the same trap again and again and again. And as much as I am always like, save money on yarn, don't spend money. I was like getting my credit card out and stop myself. So if you want to hear about that, please stick around. This is the second video I put out tonight. So if you haven't seen the other one, kind of my return to YouTube after my hysterectomy, I will put that video right up here so you can check that out if you like. I just went over, touch base with a little bit of how surgery went, and no gross details or anything like that, but just what I had done, why I had it done, and then the projects I worked on like that first week or so that I was recovering. But that's not the point of this video. Let's get into it. So I would say that like that first week recovering, I was very motivated to actually crochet. I had picked out yarns. I knew what patterns I was going to be using. I was definitely in recovery mode. Now, after that, it did kind of get to the point where my mind was starting to get a little restless, and I started thinking a lot more and wanting to do stuff, but my body just wasn't ready to. And when I was 48 years old, I did get an official ADHD diagnosis, which explained a lot of what I had experienced in my life. And I feel like some of that definitely played into this, but I think some of it, you know, if you've had a surgery and you have to take it easy, and, you know, like, you're not driving, so you're not going anywhere, you're not lifting anything, you're not doing chores, you're just not like expending energy other than healing. My mind was just going like 90 miles an hour, and I was just planning out all this stuff that I could do. And needless to say, I caught myself before I spent money, but I had convinced myself several months ago, like, oh, I should do some markets. I backed out of that. I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. Well, I got it in my head. I'm like, I really want to do a market again, or like do a market. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, okay, so I have some of this yarn. You know, I would know like what my colors, you know, that I want to do, because I want like a cohesive looking brand and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I gotta take advantage of, like, you know, where I live geographically. Most people celebrate Christmas. I'm like, I should take advantage of the Christmas shopping season, blah, blah, blah. I got to get on this. I have, you know, an 8-pack of the color coordinating ones of these, but I was like getting ready to order more. I was looking and jotting down like all of the products that I thought I could put in my booth, and, you know, what yarns I would need for them. And you know, next thing you know, I have $100 in a cart. And then I was trying to justify it by being like, well, $100 investment in a business is not much. Like, that's a great way. But I was able to pump the brakes before I spent money, and thought, okay, realistically, if I've got the 8 balls of coordinating yarn with this, I should start here before ordering more, because I really don't know if I want to complete the projects in this. I think I do, but I don't really know because I haven't started. You know, I don't know how many I'll be using. I feel like I'd probably use the least amount of this variegated, and then the solids that came with it, I would probably use more of. But how am I going to know if I haven't started and I haven't done this? I was looking for cotton yarn to do some like can koozies out of, and I was like, oh, I should make some velvet scrunchies. Who doesn't love a velvet scrunchie? And, you know, when I was looking at all this, and I'm like, you know, you have a bunch of yarns already that work for this. And I backed out. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I showed some restraint, because after I got to thinking more and more about it, I realized I was just caught up in, I don't want to say like a mania, maybe a hyper focus, but just that, like, that feeling where you want to be productive, but you can't. And so you trick yourself by and you think that planning is actually being productive when planning is not being productive at all. It can actually like totally derail you. So what I need to do is actually go through, pull out some yarns, but yeah, I'm not supposed to be lifting yet and all that stuff. So again, it's something I need to pump the brakes, find out what I've got, and actually start making a few of the projects with the stuff I have and make sure it's even what I want before ordering more. But basically, just simply put, that's what happened. And I think that happens to so much of us, or to so many of us so often, is that we want to feel productive. We don't feel like we're producing. And so we shop because it's part of the planning process, and it tricks us into feeling like we have produced something when we in fact have only produced a little bit of debt. This is just a quick little, what is that called? Like they used to come like after school specials, like the more you know, public service announcement. Yeah, I think that's it, like a PSA. The next time you are feeling like, oh, you have to get this yarn, you have to do this, you've made all these plans, stop, take a deep breath, examine your plan, see what you've already got at home before purchasing, and save yourself some money, or save yourself like the heartbreak of buying stuff you won't actually use. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know how that went, and that I did catch myself, and that you can too. I recently saw a video and it said not to be hard on yourself if you find yourself continually making the same mistake, because sometimes the learning process for us is a series that goes over time. Like, it's not something we're meant to experience once and miraculously learn from and evolve and move on. It can take us many times of experiencing very similar situations before we really learn. So I thought that was extremely helpful, and it meant a lot to me hearing that, and I wanted to pass that along to you and let you know that yes, I almost made a mistake, but I have learned. It didn't completely stop me from making it, but I stopped it before the purchase went through, and I feel pretty good about myself at this point. So thank you so much for talking yarn with me. I will see you again next week. If you are one of Shannon's yarn talkers, there will be a video out tomorrow on Tuesday for you. See you soon. Bye.